Hi, my name is Dr. Solution Focus. Today I want to share with you how you can increase your sales in these difficult times. You know, these are tough times, and this is the time that we need to really go out there to bring our services and product to the market and be able to close a lot of deals, right? So how many of you interested if I can share with you some easy to master techniques that can help you to close a lot of deals so that you become unstoppable, keep closing deals? So would you want to learn that? Please stay tuned. So I'm going to share with you some very easy to master and yet very practical techniques. So now, if you want to close more deals, right, the most important thing is you got to understand about how people's brain works, how our brain works. So, there are three types of brain. We have three different types of brain in us. So we call it the new brain, the middle brain, and the old brain. See, a lot of people, even though they work very hard, but they couldn't get any sales results that they want, they cannot achieve their sales target or the sales goals, it's a lot of time because they made a mistake. They are selling to the new brain. Okay, what is new brain? New brain, it's about the rational thinking, okay? And middle brain, it's about emotional, all right? But what you really need to do is you want to sell to the old brain, which is instinctual, all right? It's based on your instinct. So you got to be able to know, to find a way how to talk to the old brain. A lot of people make mistake because they are only selling to the new brain, which is the rational mind. How many of you agree that buying process is emotional, right? It's not rational. Even though we use our rational mind, but when it comes to making the final decision, right, we'll always fall back to our emotional brain, right? To use our emotions, okay? So we need to really master that. We need to really understand. So how do we talk to the old brain? Okay, because old brain has been around for about 400 years, all right, 4 million, no, it's more than 4 million years. So if you can tackle the needs of your old brain, then you'll be able to close a deal. Now, I want to share with you some practical tips and strategies of how you can communicate directly with the reptilian brain of your customers. So because if you can do that, right, then you'll be able to win them over. Then you'll be able to help you, then it will be able to help you to close more sales, all right? So now, first thing first, to activate the reptilian brain, you definitely need to tell them the reasons. You must always answer this question: what's in it for me? Okay? So once the customer understand what's in it for them and how they can actually benefit from your products, okay, then only you'll be able to get their interest to listen to you more. All right, so that's very important. The first thing is you need to understand their needs. Then you got to be able to do something that appeal to their needs. So if you can do that, if you can satisfy their needs, then you'll be able to win them over. Now the second thing is you want to be able to show a lot of contrast. This is how our mind works. This is how the reptilian brain function. So reptilian brain always like to seek contrast, always like to look at contrasting pictures or images. Okay, so for example, have you noticed a lot of this slimming advertisement, right? In slimming advertisement, they always show you the before and after photo, right? So the moment you look at those photos, it really activates, right? It really brings the excitement. It really causes you to think, wow, if this person can slim down the body so much in such a short period of time, then I may want to try it as well. If it's worked for this person, it may work for me as well. So you see, customers are constantly looking for contrast. So we got to show the contrast to the customer. That's how you talk to the reptilian brain. Of course, and then the third one is you got to make your presentation, you stimulate the visual line. The third one is you need to stimulate, right, their visual sense. So meaning you got to be able to help them to see the benefits, all right, using beautiful colors, pictures, nice images, something really attractive and very compelling, because the eyes link directly to the reptilian brain. So that's why you need to make your presentation become very lively and very eye-catching. So if you can do that, right, then you'll be able to generate a lot of interest of your customer in your products. Now, I want to share with you the most important secret of how you can actually communicate to the reptilian brain of your customers. Because if you can do that, right, then you'll be able to win your customer over, and it can help you to close a lot of deals. All right. Now, first and foremost, the most important one is we need to show a lot of contrast. The greater the contrast, the greater the amount of influence you have on your customer. Okay, because our reptilian brain is constantly seeking for contrast. So the moment you show the brain, right, a lot of contrast, then you'll be able to generate a lot of interest in them. What do you mean by contrast? Let me give you some example. Now, have you ever seen like those slimming advertisement, right? When you look at those slimming advertisement, right, what do they show you? They show you two photos, right? They show you the before and after. Now, if you are looking for solutions to help you to slim down your body, and when you look at these two photos, wow, it really attracts you, right? It really attractive, because you see someone that maybe weighed 98 kg, and then after their treatment, it has reduced 30 kg in 3 months, now only with 68 kg. So now, if you are someone in the market, you are looking for some kind of solution to help you to slim down your body, this kind of ads, right, it becomes really attractive to you, because you look at the photo, then you say to yourself, I could be one of them. I could be this person, right? So if this person can make it, I can make it as well. Okay? So this is what I mean by contrast. Now, if you are selling insurance, if you are selling property, if you are selling any products, right? So how can you use contrast in your selling? For example, when you talk about, let's say, the fee, right? You talk about, let's say if you are selling insurance. So let's say if your premium is few thousand a year, but you don't tell your customer a few thousand, oh, you know, I have to pay so much money, right? So what you can do is you divide the amount, the total amount, by 365 days. Guess what? The amount becomes so small. It becomes so small that the customer immediately feel that, hey, this is something that I can afford, right? Only for a few bucks, you know, a day, then I can have this equipment, I can enjoy this, right? So now, this is what I mean by contrast. Have you ever been to, let's say, some grocery stores? You know, sometimes you go for shopping in shopping mall, and then you see that they display the product and how they actually show you the offer, right? So usually they put it up there, the big sign, say 30% off. Then they do a cross, and then they tell you now it's 70% off. Now, my question to you is, why not they straight away tell you this is 70% off? But if they just show it like that, it would not drive you the urgency to go and buy it. But because it shows you that in the past it was 30% off, and now it's 70% off, so you immediately feel the impact. Wow, you know, now I really need to grab this. This is a good opportunity for me to own this product. So you see, the contrast drive people go crazy, and they just want to own it. You see? So this is how you can use contrast. And then you can use contrast in many different ways as well. So you're going to be very creative in the way how you can use your contrast. You can show people, if today you make a decision, this is what you're going to get. You have a lot of benefits. But if you do it tomorrow, you will not have all these benefits anymore. All right? So when you show people that contrast, the bigger the contrast, remember, the bigger the contrast, the bigger the amount of influence it has on us. So now, think about how can you create a big contrast and show it to your customer. Now, the next secret that I want to share with you on how to work directly, or how do you communicate and talk to the reptilian brain, is by understanding this concept of beginning and the end. All right? You see, how the reptilian work is that the reptilian brain always look for the beginning and focusing on the end. So what does that mean is that in your sales presentation or sales pitching, right, you need to pay a lot of attention on how you start the conversation. How do you start your presentation? Because that will attract the reptilian brain. And also the ending. How do you end your presentation? And especially if you can end your presentation with some emotional ending, and how you can invoke certain emotions in them, and that is the way how you can actually gain a lot of attention and gain the heart of your reptilian brain to make that decision to say yes to you. Okay, so those are really, really important things. So now, let me just share with you a little bit of example. What do you mean by beginning and the end? Because the mind always focusing on the beginning and at the end. And what happened in the middle, sometimes we forgot, or sometimes we just lose focus on that, right? But the mind can always remember what's on the beginning and what's on the end. Now, how can you actually apply this? Basically, you can apply this in not just in sales, in the way how you do your business, in the way how you organize event or training or presentations, or in any customer experience, right? So if you want to increase your customer experience of your product, so you can also use this same techniques focusing on beginning and the end. Now let me share with you the secret, right, formula known as 1-3-4-2. Now let's say, for example, when you want to present, now if you want to present your products, right, so in your sales presentation, let's say there are 4 important points. Now let me ask you, how are you going to arrange your key points? Obviously, you want to focus on the most important strength or advantages, or the most important benefit of your product first, right? That one will go first. Now, how do you then, the second most important one, where do you going to put it? You don't want to put on the second point, you want to put at the last point, because now you know how the mind works, is that the mind only focusing on the beginning and the end. So your second most important point is you need to put at the end. Then you put the third important one at second, and then the fourth one and at third, then the second most important at the fourth. So this is known as the magic formula of 1-3-4-2. Now, so you can use this magic formula during your presentation, and I can guarantee you, it can increase your chances of convincing you and influence your customer. Now, the next secret that I want to share with you today is how you can communicate and talk to the reptilian brain, and how to influence the reptilian brain to make a decision in your favor. That would be, you got to be able to invoke certain emotion in your client. Yes, it's about emotional. Now, how can you bring out certain emotions in your client, right? It's by telling them a story. So the easiest way is for you to tell a story, okay? So to tell a story, well, it's really, really important part of your sales pitching. So you got to be able to tell the story of a brand, about who you are, all right, about what you can offer. But of course, to tell a story, you must always remember, you must follow the structure. So what kind of structure that can really invoke emotions in people? You want to tell a story by having a very strong ending, right? So you got to have a strong start, and then you got to end strong. Again, this is like, you know, like what we learned about the beginning and the end. So you always remember, you want to end your story with a very strong emotions. Okay, so that's one way. And how can you do that is, again, is using the right choice of words. Because certain right choice of words, certain kind of words, it can bring out certain emotion. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say if you go out in the mall, right? So what kind of words that can attract you the most? As you walk past, you know, as you walk by, you know, in the shopping mall, a lot of people will be attracted by the word free, right? Because free, somehow, the moment we see the word, it kind of triggers certain emotion in us. So you got to understand there are different kind of words that can really, really bring out certain emotion in your customer, right? Because these words, it actually appeal to the reptilian brain. So we need to know what those words are, right? And free is just one of them. So you can see there are a lot of campaign, a lot of promotional campaign. AirAsia did it, you know, the free seat, and then there are so many, even a lot of banks, a lot of organizations, free gift, free membership. So they offer you, you know, with free subscriptions, all right, free trial. So there are so many, right? And you know, we've been seeing this for ages, right? For decades, and until today, this word is still used. It's still widely used. Why do you think is that? Because people know, right? This is the way how we communicate to the reptilian brain, right? Because these words somehow it bring out certain emotion. Now, What other words that can really trigger certain emotions in your client? How about the word like easy and simple? Yeah, these two words are, again, are really, really powerful words as well, because everyone want to do something easy, all right? Something simple, because you can ask people around, how many of you really want to work on something which is difficult task or complicated things? Nobody would like that. So people always prefer something easy, something simple. Okay, so these two words are also very, very important, because there are a lot of many other words out there, right? Because those words, because why it is so powerful, because it's already inside your brain, all right? It's already inside your brain. So the moment we hear those words, right, it brings out certain emotion in us. So make full use of those powerful words, can really help you to close a lot of business.